Hi, I'm Simon Ben. I'm 53, coming up 54. I was adopted at 5 weeks old. Um, I was told so young that I was adopted that I don't actually even remember hearing the story of it or being told that. Um, but I've got a pretty good idea of how I was actually told it, because as a kid there was a book in my bookshelf. It was a picture book. It was all about a couple who got married and got a house and got a dog and a cat, and then adopted a, a, a child. And I'm pretty sure that that's how my mum and dad um, told told me. Um, so they made it normal. They made it. I wasn't some kind of. It gave a context. Um, made it normal. Made it something that's happened to somebody else. Something that's happened to somebody in a book. It's a really gentle way of telling me, I think. So I think it's beautiful. I guess I heard stories about people finding out in different ways and it becoming a shock. So the way they found out to me it was coming, definitely it was coming from love. From my parents were coming from love, and I had a good adoption. I had a mostly happy childhood. I was bullied at school, but that had nothing to do with being adopted. It was actually due to I had buck teeth. I used to suck my thumb when I was a kid, and my teeth stood out. So I got called lots of ratty and rodent boy and lots of nasty names. So mostly happy childhood, apart from a bit of bullying. Usual kind of ups and downs as a teenager with girlfriends and hormones and raging, that sort of stuff. Went into the family business and had a lot of ups and downs in business, actually. So business success took me a while, I think, a long time. And when it came, it wasn't all it's cracked up to be, shall we say. It was like a hollow victory. And around that time, at the age of 40, I found out that this little fella, my teddy bear, was actually a gift from my birth mother. And so how I found that out, well, my mum and dad came round to take us out for dinner on the night of my 40th birthday, take me and my wife out for dinner. And they brought this box of possessions that I hadn't taken out of my childhood bedroom when I'd left home at 22. And included in the box was the teddy bear, Ted. And he, what should I say? So my dad told my wife this, that the present was from my birth mother. And my wife told me, and I thought, oh, it's a little strange. But there was no big kind of, there was no bit, I didn't react at all to it, other than just thinking that's a little bit strange. But a couple of weeks later, I was telling the story to somebody, and I suddenly had this massive eruption of anger. My birth mother didn't effing love me enough to keep me, and instead I got some consolation prize, lots of swearing. And this lady said to me, quite a conscious lady, she said, I don't think it was like that, Simon. And suddenly my kind of like the volcano that had gone off with my anger, it dropped right back. It stopped exploding, stopped erupting. But somewhere was sowed, I think, then the seed that I was unloved and I wasn't good enough. And so I got into some kind of, when the business success didn't satisfy me, I kind of got into personal development, thinking that the adoption thing had something to do with why I felt like I did. And I came through the other side of that feeling a lot better about myself. And so I went from, light to dark and then back to the light again. But then a few years later, something happened. I had a bit of an argument with somebody, and he suggested that I needed to get some therapy, because he said there's something going on about your adoption. So I rang up a few people, and somebody recommended a book by Nancy Verrier called The Primal Wound, which I bought and I devoured. And it said things like, adoptees don't like surprises, they don't like being rejected, and they want to control things, and lots of different things like that. And I thought, this explains everything. I could see my behavior in the book. And so I felt, well, the book's called The Primal Wound. And after a while, something popped into my head. I was still exploring personal development and consciousness. And something popped into my head. Well, I'm primarily wounded. So there's no hope for me. And as somebody that's primarily wounded. And I realized that I was kind of painting myself into a corner. I was believing my take on the book was actually very disempowering. And then I had another kind of aha, eureka moment when I realized that who we truly are is unwoundable. Wounds are physical things, and we're not our bodies. Who we are, that kind of that human spirit, the human spirit inside us, that's untouchable, that's unwoundable, that cannot be damaged by anything, including being adopted. And this kind of changed my whole take on who I am. I started. I started to look then for my birth mother, and that had been kind of going on, and I found out that I'd had 2 names, and this was like, I got my original birth certificate. Wow, we can't be our names, our identity, who we think we are, is our name, isn't it? So I'm Simon Ben now, but I was David Anthony Flower, and this was all coming at the same time as I was thinking about this human spirit thing. We are this human spirit. So it just released a load of weight off my shoulders, and made me feel a lot better than myself. And at the same time, I started looking around and seeing how, because my life had gone from dark to light, I could tell the difference between the difference of the two. I'd had both experiences of life, if you like. I see so many adoptees who have lived their life in the dark, so that they've never seen any light. And if I say to them, you can get through this or whatever, then they're like, they will round on me, and they will say, no, you're some kind of Pollyanna, you're deluded, you don't know what you're talking about, Simon. At the same time, I see some parents, adopted parents, who go into this because they want to help kids. They want to adopt kids because they want to help, and they want to be some kind of they want to help. They want to help a child that hasn't got a home. And I think it's really important for them to see that their children aren't forever damaged by what's happened to them. And that's what I've decided to do. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to help adoptive parents and adoptees realize that adoption doesn't damage kids. And that's my message. I was trying to keep this to 10 minutes. I've gone slightly over. Anyway, I hope that helps in some way. I hope that gives you some hope. I hope that gives you a slightly different take on this stuff. And yeah, check me out at simonben.com. No, it's not .com. simonben.co.uk. Yeah, see you soon.